Hi, I'm Dr. Patrice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. My family is intrigued with nature, specifically birds. And I got to throw in the squirrels. So I've I probably have more bird books than I have Bibles. Or ooh, I think they run second to books on race. Every time we move to a new area, we have to get new bird books because the birds in the areas are different, and you have to be able to identify. My kids' placemats have always been birds so that they could look out the window and identify birds while they're eating. Um, my sister, Chris, moved in with us for a while, and she was a huge birder. And one year, for her birthday, I decided to invest in the bird cam. This is how big we are. Don't get the bird cam. Don't, you know how people like to watch their camera on their security thing? Well, the bird cam keeps you from doing any work because it will notify you. The app will notify you through email or text or whatever that you just took another picture of something. And I'd be writing and working and like, oh, look, and there's a bird always looking at you like this. And better than the birds, or next to the birds, is always a squirrel. And so there's a squirrel and a bird, and there's always this like cooperation, and you're like, see, Huxley, you got it wrong. There is consensus among species or across species. My mother would name squirrels, she would name the birds, she would talk to the birds. We go on trips looking for birds, and you have to be careful not to take like family members who've never done it because they're like, where is it? And you're like, shh. And then they're like, oh, I see him. There he is. Oh, he left. Why he leave? Because you're so loud. But we have, around here, around us, all kinds of hawks and all kinds of owls and all kinds of woodpeckers, like every kind of woodpecker, you name it. And buntings and painted buntings and you just name it. It's fantastic. When we lived in San Diego, different birds. So you had different books, you had different things. My mother would, like, if she would be home and I'd be on the road and I'd call and say, how's everybody doing? She would go into, let me tell you. And you think she's going to tell you a story about the kids, but there's her other kids. The one squirrel was fighting the other squirrel for a nut, and that squirrel said, give me that nut, and they were fighting. She could do this for like an hour. Well, now my niece Latoya has become, she's inherited this bird squirrel thing. She has a squirrel named Gus. She named him. And you can identify Gus because he's much fatter than all the other squirrels because she feeds him. And she says she's feeling bad for Gus because he's not able to keep up with the other squirrels and he can't climb as fast and he can't, anything because he's fat bowling a squirrel. There is a joy in finding joy in the simplest of things. And at all the windows here, there's a pair of binoculars. There is a way to look and see and stop. And there are tons of squirrels. They recently had babies. There's tons of babies around. Squirrels are like kind of everyday to most people in most areas. But to us, when the squirrels and the birds get together and they're looking at you, we can have like a whole afternoon conversation about that. And I just hope that we pay enough attention to nature, to Mother Earth, to know that all of these things are important, and that when we care for the least of these, we live better lives. I love you, but don't go get that squirrel cam. You won't get nothing done. I love you.